All right. Never heard of Kilo might be mid. All right. I don't know. We got to find out. But here we got Savages from the Six, the Neat Brothers, the well, long awaited. Been getting a lot of requests for this shit too. So let's see what they got, bro. I heard 21 Neat is better. So
that's my Molly. Brand new glizzy, but it's filthy. Full in the Sprite, turn it filthy. Lean chain, big rolly, I'm so filthy.
Song is mid, not bad, but not alright.
These are the two Honduel brothers, 23-year-old Farah and 22-year-old Abdul Kadir. Better known as 21 and 22 Neat. They're both rappers from the Driftwood area and are part of a dangerous group.
Fucking Houdini's from Driftwood, alright. And I'm pretty sure Pressa and
Neat / Was Gang. 21 Neat was the more active of the two, music-wise, putting out tracks like Ball, Change Up, Feed the Team, Rap Shit, Plugged Up, and featured on a song with YG, Money Music. 22 Neat would eventually hop on a track with his brother, and they made Filthy. It seems like they had a potential future in rap, but the two got caught up in the streets and each have a violent past, with a story that sadly ends tragically for both of them. So today, on Savages from the Six, we'll take a look at the Neat Brothers. As I mentioned, these two are from the Neat Gang, and ultimately the Driftwood Crips. This is a known violent gang that's been the target of countless raids by the Toronto police that I've touched on in some of my other videos. Well, the point is, given their history, 21 and 22 Neat have probably been involved in the streets long before what's documented on the web. With that being said, the first instance of the Neat Brothers is an incident with 22 Neat.
This nigga just looked guilty. Whatever he did, bro, whatever they accused that nigga of, he probably did it.
Well, the point is, given their history, 21 and 22 Neat have probably been involved in the streets long before what's documented on the web. With that being said, the first instance of the Neat Brothers is
that nigga look guilty, bro.
Incident with 22 Neat. On March 3rd of 2016, police say a 47-year-old man was smoking a cigarette on his front porch near Jane and Shoreham when he was approached by three suspects, each armed with a gun. He was dragged inside, and one man held him and his wife at gunpoint, while the others ransacked and then robbed the house. Now, they got away at the time, but shortly later, 3 people would be arrested, including
Toronto is fucking crazy, bro. Oh my god. If I never made this channel, I would have never knew how crazy Toronto got, bro. Oh god. Y'all niggas is crazy out there.
Robbery with a firearm and possession of property obtained by crime. He spent some time in jail, but was apparently released at some point shortly after, because he commits another crime around a year later, but this time, something more serious. We're now brought to Ottawa, Ontario, on September 21st, 2017. Police came to 1500 Caldwell Avenue in the early afternoon, after a report of shots fired in the area. When they arrived, they found one man suffering multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead. The victim was identified as Hamza Sirhan. He was 20 years old. A neighbor, who didn't want to be identified, claimed to have witnessed the killing, saying he saw a group of men knock on Hamza's door, and once he answered, one of them opened fire, striking him in his chest and back. The neighbor said that it was about money, and the murder was a quote-unquote debt being settled.
Them niggas don't play about their money, bro.
Hamza's brother would also end up being killed just a year later. But the police don't believe the shootings were connected. About a month after the investigation began, Ottawa police had a few suspects, including Farah Handel, 22 Neat, who was declared the sole shooter, although the neighbor who witnessed the shooting claimed that the other men had guns too. Now
that nigga was just snitching on everybody, bro.
To go on the run.
That nigga neighbor is a op. I would have minded my business on God.
While he stayed in the shadows and
New Yorkers are known for minding their business. If I would have seen that shit, I wouldn't have seen that shit.
His brother, 21 Neat, would soon find himself involved in a similar situation. There's been a newfound beef between two areas in Toronto, Driftwood and Regent Park, or essentially Was.
Regent Park, that's where fucking Lil Beretta's from.
Neat Gang versus Halal Gang. This feud can be traced back to a brutal shooting that rocked the city and the entire hip-hop industry and really brought gang violence to the forefront in Toronto. This beef would just be the latest addition in Driftwood's list of foes.
YG pulls up to region. Why they got the nose? Why they got the sniffy nose on over his face? What, that nigga T fucked up? But nah, this nigga pulled up to Regent Park, hopped out. Bro.
This brings us to the next unfortunate event in our timeline. This incident takes place in the downtown entertainment district of Toronto on June 30th, 2018, during a busy summer evening. A popular Regent Park rapper, Smoke Dogg, was with his brand manager Cobra Prime, standing outside of Cube nightclub, located near Queen and Spadina. Police say that suddenly at least 2 men approached Smoke Dogg and fired a series of shots.
Yo, I'm not even
Smoke
gonna lie.
Dogg was
Somebody
struck.
sent me the video of Smoke Dogg after he died when he was on the floor, bro. That shit is gruesome. Oh God, bro. I would never react to some shit like that on YouTube. I would never react to some shit like that. That video was crazy, bro. Just out of respect for bro and his family and his home and everybody that loved him, bro. I'm not even gonna react to that shit. But best believe I seen that video, bro. That shit is crazy. Oh God.
Struck in his head.
Oh my
His brand
God.
manager was also hit multiple times. A woman was also severely wounded in the
Didn't
incident.
the kid get hit too? I'm not sure if he just said that or not.
Approached Smoke Dogg and fired a series of shots. Smoke Dogg was struck in his head. His brand manager was also hit multiple times. A woman was also severely wounded in the incident. The suspects quickly fled in an SUV.
So a woman got hit, not a kid.
Smoke Dogg, whose real name is Javante Smart, was pronounced dead at the scene, and his brand manager Cobra Prime, named Ernest Modicway, was taken to the hospital.
Oh, they
but
shot
died
that
shortly
nigga
later.
manager too?
Now there's some pretty graphic images online showing Smoke Dogg laying on
I'm
the
not
street,
reacting to that
bleeding while people rushed to his aid. It was a brazen and brutal broad day killing, and the police quickly began investigating the shooting. By July 11th, less than 2 weeks after the murder, the police had suspects and put warrants out. The first suspect was Abdul Qadir Handul, 21 neat. The second suspect was identified as 16-year-old Keyshawn Jones. They both faced 2 first
That nigga 16, bro. That nigga 16.
suspect was Abdul Qadir Handul, 21 neat. The second suspect
Bro
was
look like he in
identified
his
as 16-year-old Keyshawn Jones. They both faced 2 first-degree murder charges, as well as an attempted murder charge for the woman who was wounded in the incident. Both suspects were on the run, and the police began their search countrywide for the pair. Their search would last just over a year. On July 4th,
Bro, every time I turn around, the Toronto nigga's always on the run. Whether it's YG, one of the Neat brothers, bro.
the woman who was wounded in the incident.
Not YG, a fucking top 5, bro.
Both suspects were on the run, and the police
YG
began
too,
their
matter
search
of fact,
countrywide
yeah.
for the pair. Their search would last just over a year. On July 4th of 2019, in Burnaby,
Fucking Young
British
Lava.
Columbia, police were investigating a potential hostage kidnapping situation at a building in the 4900 block of Sanders Street. They entered the apartment in question, and 3 men leaped over the balcony, trying to escape. 2 of them managed to drop to a
What?
balcony just 1 level below, but 1 man actually fell all the way to the
What?
ground, suffering severe injuries.
What?
They all ended up being arrested, and the hostage in question was safe.
That nigga jumped from the 11th floor. That nigga's guilty, on God. Yo, if you jump from the 11th floor, bro, you guilty. I mean,
Way
come
to
on,
the
bro.
ground, suffering severe injuries.
That nigga jumped.
They all
3 of
ended
them
up being
niggas.
arrested, and the
Take
hostage in
them
question was
niggas. They
safe.
guilty, bro.
One of the men arrested ended up being none other than Abdul Qadir Handul, 21
Them
years.
niggas jumped from the 11th floor, bro.
On top of the charges he already had, he now faced kidnapping and forcible confinement charges. He was quickly extradited to face his more serious Ontario charges first. The second suspect in the murder of Smoke Dogg, Keyshawn Jones,
Bro, at
still
that
on the
point, it's
run.
not even worth it. Them niggas, I just let them niggas take me,
To
bro.
this
The
day.
11th floor is crazy. Hey, nigga, the
Eve to
5th
me
floor is
is
crazy. Fuck
basically
out of here. I'm not no
freedom. It's a
cat,
giant
bro.
open
What, where
universe
I'm gonna
where
land? On
you
my
can do
legs?
what-
I'm gonna break my kneecaps. The
Now
fuck?
with 21 neat locked up for the murder,
Fuck that,
the
bro.
focus
Take
shifts
me.
back to the
Alright,
older Neat
11th
brother,
floor, I'm not
22.
jumping nowhere, bro. You
At
got
this
me.
point,
You
he's
got
been on
me.
the run and managed to evade law
Fuck that.
enforcement for over 2 years, about 27 months to be exact. And they would never end up catching him, because unfortunately, someone else seemed to be after 22 neat as well. The next event happens in Calgary, Alberta, on the cold night of December 26, 2019, just before a new year. A man named Vern McCurdy was having a cigarette outside of a community center when he noticed a man walking on the street just as another man was exiting the store. Verm claims that it seemed like the two men recognized each other, and one of them suddenly took off running. The man chased the other through the streets and ended up shooting at the man 6 or 7 times before fleeing. Police and paramedics rushed to the scene, and they found a man already deceased,
Damn.
laying in the middle of the road. The victim was Farah Handul, 22 neat. Now the police quickly came up with a suspect in relation to the shooting, a man named Muhammad Hussein Ahmed from Toronto. He fled Calgary and into Saskatoon after the murder, but eventually made his way back to Ontario. Police tracked him, and he was arrested on January 6 of 2020 in connection to the shooting. Now there's some theories for a reason why 22 neat was killed. Some people say that he was actually the person responsible for killing YS, a fellow driftwood rapper who was found shot in a Surrey, British Columbia home. So there's some speculation that it was a revenge killing. Now I'm still not sure why 22 neat would want to kill YS, since they were from the same area and seemingly
Probably felt YS was going to snitch on him out of paranoia. So, he killed his homie, basically.
connection to the shooting. Now there's some theories for a reason why 22 neat was killed. Some people say that he was actually the person responsible for killing YS, a fellow driftwood rapper who was found shot in a Surrey, British Columbia home.
So people are saying 22 neat has something to do with YS dying. Basically his own man.
So there's some speculation that it was a revenge
Bro,
killing.
fucking-
Now I'm still not sure why 22 neat would want to kill YS, since they were from the same area and seemingly from the same gang. A piece of evidence that supports the revenge killing theory is the fact that the person arrested in connection to the shooting, Muhammad, happened to be from Toronto as well. And also the police said 22 neat was only in Calgary for a few days before his murder, so he could have been in BC at the time YS was killed. Police in Calgary claim to have collected surveillance footage from around the area, and they determined that the suspect Muhammad and the victim 22 neat knew each other, but were unsure of a motive for the killing. YS and 22 neat's murders happened just a few days apart, so it makes it seem related, although there still hasn't been any convictions for either of their murders, just an arrest. At the time that 22 died,
What's good, my boy
21 was already
Garbanzo?
in
What's
jail
good,
for
bro?
a few months, so he would have received the tragic news that his older brother passed away while behind bars. The Neat brothers seemed to live a crazy life, and they were still young. They caused a lot of mayhem and only escalated beef in the city with the killing of Smoke Dog. They definitely left their mark on history of not only Toronto streets, but all of Canada.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.